You've got lots of restrooms there, but I actually don't think that would comply with the law because it's saying you got to use what's assigned on your birth certificate. So I'm not going to ask where you stand on it. My question to you, Chris, is how do we enforce this?
That was going to be my question to you. Someone going to check birth certificates at the door? This is stupid. Like my hot take on many of these bills that people passed, all virtue signaling, whether it's left or right. It's all virtue signaling.
Okay. I have no idea how to enforce it. That's the running joke. You surely can't have some sort of administrator or police officer getting people's private parts. Welcome to episode 100 of the Weekly Docket, a podcast by the Silverman Law Firm where we talk legal news and practical law. Today is December 11th, 2025. I'm Phil Silverman, owner of the firm and your host, and I'm joined by Chris Field, who's our supervising attorney at the firm. 100th episode, Chris. I've got nothing special planned, I'm afraid. But
I think I alluded to this 2 months ago. I said, hey, this means we have episode 100 coming up. Obviously, I haven't been here for the whole ride, but it's still going strong.
I've got two questions for you. For question one, both college football related. Why is James Madison in the college playoffs, and who wants to see them lose badly to Oregon?
The way I understand it is they have to allow so many conference champions in. And so the supposition was we would have the power conference champions in, and then that will allow for one group of 5 team to get in. And then the ACC decided to blank the bed this year and have their conference champion be Duke, who was absolutely not going to get in. And so they said, wow, the 5 highest ranked conference champions are these guys. And it's not the ACC. So they let Miami in as a not large, but they had to let those the top 5 conference champions in, which did not include Duke, which did include Tulane and JMU.
That's an excellent explanation of that. I'm glad I'll feel better when I'm not watching that game. But anyway. Question number 2, what's going on with this coach at Michigan? He's not the head coach, right? Do we know what he did? He is the head coach, and he is in jail.
I think so. I don't think Jim Harbaugh is the head coach anymore.
Oh,
I think Jim Harbaugh's been in San Diego for a minute.
What's this coach's name? Do we know?
I don't know his name, but I do believe he's the head coach, and you know.
Hey, he's the head coach of University of Michigan football team. Okay, so he gets fired.
It's a rather prestigious school.
Is it the most winningest college football program in the country? It may either that or Notre Dame. I don't know, but
it's a blue blood.
Yeah,
it's got history.
Inappropriate relationship with a staff member is what we've got. He got fired. I guess he was in jail for something. I don't know.
This is still early, and I don't want to report anything that's untrue, but what I read was after all this went down, then he kind of lost it. If you think you're losing your wife and your kids and your job, and the mistress is telling stories to the media, that's probably going to send anyone over the edge. So the reports are he started threatening to harm himself, and he broke into the girlfriend's house.
No, that's disconnected with the reality. I guess if these allegations are true, he made his own bed and now he must lie in it. But all right, we got to move on to what's on our docket today. What are we talking about? We are going to have a legal news section. We're going to be talking about Texas Senate Bill 8 and how we're going to enforce that. I'm not going to spoil what Texas Senate Bill 8 is, but we'll get there in just a minute. And then we're going to answer one legal question. No, maybe 2 legal questions. What is a deed without warranty and why might you use one? And then finally, how can landlords be fined for code compliance issues by cities, and what does that look like? So it's our legal news section and our 2 legal questions, and then we'll be calling it a show. So let's go ahead and get it kicked off with legal news. Texas Senate Bill 8. Chris, I know this is one that you followed very closely. But
I followed 6 and 7, but I lost interest in 8.
Oh my goodness. It's even infiltrated the Silverman Law Firm podcast. Okay. So 8, it's going to require the use of public restrooms in state public buildings to only be used by genders on the birth certificate. So if you want to go into a male restroom or a female restroom, whatever's on your birth certificate, that's where you're going. So if you were born a male, you've got to go to the male restroom. Born a female, you got to go to the female restroom. This is mostly gaining news in some of these state college campuses like the University of Texas and A&M, places like that, because that's where you have a bunch of adults that are youngish that tend to be left leaning. And you would presume that you're going to have some people there that may identify or believe that they're a different sex than what's on their birth certificate. So you're going to have some of this. This is where we're preparing for the controversy, Chris. My question, I'm not going to ask.
We do this 2-4 years ago. I'm going back in time. We've done this.
We've done lots of things at college campuses. I don't think we've done this one. I'm not going to ask where you stand on this bill.
No, not you and I. Texas, the nation. We had this debate. This was a hot button issue 4 years ago. What are we doing?
I don't remember this 4 years ago.
The bathroom bill, it was Ted Cruz sponsored it, I thought.
Was it? I passed. I think it's becoming effective. If it's not already effective, it's becoming effective. It passed. I do have a solution at the University of Texas where I went to school. And I do recollect that because we are in the South with a segregated past, and if you're in some of these old buildings, you'll notice that there are 2 men's restrooms and 2 female restrooms. Chris, well, do you know why that is? I've tipped you off, right?
Really?
Yeah.
It's not. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never paid attention close enough to be like, why are there 2? Are they next to it?
So there's 4 restrooms.
I don't think I've ever seen them in close proximity, maybe on separate floors.
No, 4 restrooms, not unusual. I don't know if some of them have been repurposed to remove that shameful time in our history in the South. But if they're still there, you could have a male restroom, another restroom, a female restroom, and then another restroom or something. But you've got lots of restrooms there. But I actually don't think that would comply with the law because it's saying you got to use what's assigned on your birth certificate. So I'm not going to ask where you stand on it. My question to you, Chris, is how do we enforce this?
That was going to be my question to you. Someone going to check birth certificates at the door? This is stupid. Like my hot take on many of these bills that people passed, all virtue signaling, whether it's left or right. That's all virtue signaling.
Okay. I have no idea how to enforce it. That's the running joke. You surely can't have some sort of administrator or police officer getting people's private parts. Okay. That's just not going. And how would you know? And as to your point,
are you going to let some women pass? But if you're a woman that looks like you might have been born a man, I'm going to birth certificate you. I'm going to say, hey, let me see that. If like woman, you look like you might be a man.
Gender profiling. Yeah. Some men may look a little feminine with the long hair and dainty.
Right. Yeah. What if they pass? It's like they just walk right in because there's just no question because their service is that good.
Yeah. There's no way to enforce this, but it's a law. It's on the books. It's making news, and there you have it. All right, let's move on to our legal questions section. We've got two legal questions. Okay, what is a deed without warranty? Chris, have you ever drafted one of these? Seen one of these? They're not very common.
No, I'm sure I have, but yes, you're right. They're not common because you don't want to do a quitclaim deed. We do get that call 10 times a day. It seems simple. It seems quick. Some people call it a quick deed because they say, look, I just want to get rid of it. I don't even know if I own it. Been in my family forever, or this title company says I own it. Just want to get rid of it. But if you do a quitclaim deed, there's title problems down the line. So what we say is do a deed without warranty that says, I'm transferring this to you, but don't come back and sue me if I don't actually own it because I don't know what I own. And I am making no warranties to you. So here it is, but you're taking it and you're getting what you get.
And I want to clarify that a little bit because I do think you were mostly correct. Now I have the advantage because I'm preparing the outline and I'm looking at this stuff fresh and I'm just hitting you with this from memory. And I did have to look this up as just a refresher. The difference is between a quitclaim and a deed without warranty. A quitclaim, you actually, I don't know if I own it. Whatever I own, I transfer to you. A deed without warranty, you actually do represent that you own it. You just disclaim all warranties. Now, I
It's a
don't,
whole thing. Yes.
yeah. Now, the difference, I don't know that there's a practical difference, just FYI. Okay.
Right. You're saying I own it, but you can't sue me if I don't.
I-
So how much of I can't use the word warranty. How much of a representation is that you own it? If you're saying I own it, but if it turns out I don't, you can't.
That's effectively what it is. And if you want to know the legalese, it's the standard grantor for consideration, grant sells, bargains conveys, which you usually see. And then it just says all warranties that might arise by common law, as well as warranties under the property code, are excluded. Okay. So difference practically, not a heck of a lot. Can you get title insurance on it? You cannot get it for a quitclaim deed. I guess the practical difference is you might be able to get title insurance dealing with the deed without warranty, but it's not going to be real common, not going to be super easy, but probably technically possible. Okay.
Are you talking about on that transaction, or are you talking about down the line?
No, on that transaction. And maybe either one. I think your point is if you have a quitclaim in the chain of title, that's going to be a deal killer for title insurance.
Right. Forever.
Right.
Until you get.
Fake deed without warranty is not going to create so many title insurance problems. That's the biggest practical advantage. All right. One more question. How much can landlords be fined for code compliance issues by cities? We had this come up yesterday, got a client a great result. I'm always ecstatic when that happens. I'll give you a little background. I'm Chris, I'm a lawyer. I also own a property management company. We have all these properties all over.
And a towing company.
And no, I do not own a towing company. But we have all these property management all over state of Texas, these single family homes. And not all the time, but sometimes the cities want to fine our landlords for, okay, the grass got really high, or somebody left a vehicle out there. Oh, the fence isn't right, or your tenant hasn't had hot water. Stuff like that are examples of reasons properties can be fined. Now, I don't want to paint the picture that we're representing unscrupulous landlords or we're not doing a good job as a property manager, but I can assure you just sometimes you're going to get a fine, even if you're not a slumlord. But the slumlords in Texas, they're the ones that all the time really are getting these terrible fines, and they're probably not keeping up the properties, but not all the time. So whatever the reason, those are examples of fines. Now, Chris, I guess you know the answer to this. How much money, Chris, do you think per day some of these cities like Austin or Fort Worth or Dallas could try to charge you for a code compliance violation?
You're right. I didn't know anything, but the numbers I saw yesterday were $1,000 a day.
Crazy. That's like, all right, the tenant forgot to mow the yard, neighbor complains, code compliance guy drives by. I don't think they're that quick to issue a ticket or a citation or whatever it is, but yeah, that yard or that vehicle sits out there for 10 days, 20 days, whatever. It can add up pretty quick. So I think this guy was potentially facing like 100 days worth at $1,000 a day. So $100,000 potential fine, just ludicrous. After we did the hearing, the city reduced it to $30 a day, which is still not chump change, mind you, but it's a heck of a lot better than $100 a day. Okay, so $1,000.
It looks like it's probably like criminal sentencing, right? It's like it's a range. You can do this or you can do that. If you cut off your tenant's heat in the winter, maybe that's worthy of $1,000 a day. If the grass is overgrown, maybe that's $30 a day.
I'm glad you said that because you were talking about criminal sentencing and then you started cutting things off. And I was like, I don't know. It's not like some countries, Chris. We're not cutting off anybody's hand for theft. Okay. I'm glad you went that direction. But hey, look, this is just a little interesting case flavor of some of the things we do, some of the things we get. And we have a lot of landlord listeners to the show. So be careful with those fines. They can get crazy. If my guess, Chris, just like criminals sentencing ranges, if you're a really bad actor, they probably will throw the book at you. if you have a reputation of being a really bad slumlord, the city probably is going to try to throw the book at you.
And we've seen that. We've had clients that were known to be involved in lawsuit after lawsuit. And you also know that the city's going to know that. They're going to bring it in, and every tenant is going to list how many other cases you're involved in. To some extent, we always take the position anyone can file a lawsuit. So just because a landlord is involved in a lawsuit doesn't necessarily mean they're liable. But the old where there's smoke, there's fire. If you're involved in 18 lawsuits, maybe we need to start talking about some different practices.
Yeah. Okay. That brings our show to a close. I've been your host, Phil Silverman. Chris Hild has been my co-host on our 100th episode today. Like us, follow us, review us wherever you get your podcasts. And as a reminder, nothing in this show is to be considered legal advice, and this has all been for entertainment purposes only. If you have a legal question, email us at info@silblawfirm.com and tell us you want it publicly answered in the podcast. Everybody have a great rest of your week and weekend.